We're fucking recording. God damn it.
What's up, everyone? It's Nick and Alex here for our third playthrough of Super Seducer.
Now that we're warmed up again, since I don't know how to apparently work anything.
I think it's good because that last one we kind of waffled off pretty hard. Alright, so this is Super Seducer. It's the super...
Seducer.
I know. It's the super... what's the word?
PUA.
Pickup artist. It's very controversial right now.
Yeah.
And I think I can agree with Alex. It isn't as bad as people say it is, but it isn't like great.
Yeah, it's not. There's a lot. If you're looking at it through the prism of gameplay, it's not very good. I'd say the worst thing about it is when they presents you with this, with the options to answer back to the girl, an answer that could seem very playful and light can come off discerning and very negative and counterproductive to the conversation, and makes you kind of question how this game's put together. It seems like they did a rush job. It's very...
Yeah, there's some things... I think a rush job is the best way to put it, because it's like... There's things that we'll point out during the game that pay attention to the cutscene and then pay attention to the audio, and it just cuts off.
Yeah, there's no...
So let's do the
blending at all. This one, I can tell you which ones are right.
Okay.
So,
actually, yeah, get us through one, just like fast playthrough.
I'll try my best. I don't remember everything, but
so the one thing that I've said this 3 times now, it's shot very much like a porno.
Yeah. The music's even porno style.
Not to be like mean or assuming or anything, but I'm guessing it's like a porn crew that made this.
Probably. What was this? This was...
So
I think it's this one.
If you know, like, if you're a fan of Mass Effect, there's always the Renegade option, to kind of put it that way. There's always one that's so ridiculous, and if you select it, he'll tell you, like, hey, that's stupid, why would you ever do that? Yeah. And, like, I kind of respect that. That's all the stuff that everybody's been taking out of context.
Yeah. They act like it's an answer to help you, but if you could just look at this game through the prism, through the lens or whatever, that it can help you in so many situations of just having pleasant conversations with a stranger. Your ultimate goal doesn't have to be sex. I mean, if you want to use this to practice to practice talking to women, if you're nervous talking to girls, sure, it can help you, but it can help you get a job interview. It can help you talk to the boss during that interview. It could help you at school with making friends. It could help you with family if you're having trouble with that. There's a lot of actual good psychological tools that can help you, but for the most part, it's geared towards women, so people feel like there's a lot of sexist material.
I also think this game could have been better if it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, just a tiny bit, because it is very serious. Let's do a bad answer, just to show what happens when you get a wrong answer.
Sure. We'll show all different
here's
ones.
the Renegade option here. We don't have enough insight, so she's going to one-shot us right now. It's a little Bloodborne humor for the listeners out there. Oh.
Hi, can I help you?
I'm not surprised.
Oh, wow.
I know you were just reading that book, and you're like, oh, there's a guy, I hope he comes and picks me up. I'm just going to pretend I'm reading this book, and he'll think I'm really smart. And here I am. It's a lucky day.
Is this a shtick? Are you trying to be funny?
Shtick. It's a happy moment.
Is she like putting on an American accent?
No, she's American.
I can't tell if you're joking.
Oh.
No.
Does she have the same accent as Jenna? That's like that.
No, she's not from the Midwest.
Oh.
I was at this one I did yesterday. And
why don't you just...
She's like the intellectual coffee shop type, the stereotype.
Yeah,
that's what they're going for.
There are, that's one thing I noticed. There are a lot of stereotypes in this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like at the club, it's like the Euro trash girls that are very kind of down.
I don't need him to like me as long as you like me.
I don't like
you.
you.
Do like me.
I don't really.
Like, this is a very extreme example.
Even if I didn't have a boyfriend, this would never happen.
If you apply this to regular life, if you just sat down and talked to somebody of the same gender,
That's my opinion, and
you're
it's the
you're
only
going
opinion that
to
matters in regards
come
to
off as a crude asshole. So you can just look at these tactics as tactics to go into social situations and be better.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea to go to a job interview and have a couple stories memorized to make yourself look good. I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't. A lot of people nowadays just hide behind their phone and they don't know how to interact with people and just sit there and exist. And
that's like the kind of ironic thing about this. You can buy this as a joke, play through the whole thing, and you'll probably learn one or two things that are just like, oh yeah, maybe. And we'll show in a second. My biggest problem with this game is that like this stuff right here, it's too long.
Yeah, this should have been over. I thought this was going to be over.
This is literally, we're like 3 minutes into this, and I get that
this is the wrong answer.
Yeah, and I get that because we started with the wrong answer. She's, in a way, you're learning that like she's just like saying like, hey, back the fuck off. You're being an asshole. I'm gonna call you, you know. But
really, you should go.
Well, once we get a real answer, you'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, besides again the two objectified, it's not gonna skip. Oh, it did skip. Good.
So
skip that shit. Okay. So the right answer, I'm pretty sure, is this one or.
Hi. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Oh, what are you reading there?
Kafka.
Kafka.
Okay.
It's philosophy.
There is some philosophy in it. Yeah.
Yes. I always hear Kafka-esque.
Yeah.
What does
That's
that mean?
that's what you read in the coffee shop.
I guess so.
Damn.
Well, she's a student, as you'll soon find out.
Thank you.
She's quite dressed up to go to the
at 9 a.m.
to go read philosophy. Okay, so here's my thing here.
Oh, so I got it middle right.
All right, so if you notice there were, first we showed the bad answer, he was by himself. The middle tier answer, there are two women, but they're in their Sunday best.
Yes, with their.
So see what happens when we get the right answer.
It's
this one?
Yeah.
So do you mind if I turn you?
Just skip it.
Cool.
So that was the right answer.
Boom! When you get the good answer,
they're in their bras.
yeah, and you'll notice the more they'll start to change their positions a little bit. Not the girl with the big boobs on the right, but the girl on the left starts
she'll shift around.
Yeah,
but it's just
I think that's one of the problems with the game is that it's the first one's like him. I think the setting is a little creepy. Like he's in a bedroom. Obviously, that means something. It's hey, we're trying to get the sex. We're in this hotel room.
That's the stuff I don't like.
And
if we were talking about if you said if he was on a jet ski, but I was thinking like somewhere just neutral.
Yeah,
just
if he was somewhere
sexually neutral.
But instead, he's like where he is. It's you notice the first time he's sitting by himself. Okay, cool. And then it's like, oh, hey, there's some women there, but they're in clothes, whatever. And it's like, he's just trying to look like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Then you notice when you start getting the right answer, you're like, oh, I'm being rewarded now.
Yeah.
With like hot women literally in their underwear. And that's where it gets creepy because he's still saying shit where like, he's like, hey, that's a good thing to do. You're getting to know her better. That's what you want to do. You want to establish a relationship. You're not being creepy. By the way, check this shit out to the right.
The stuff he is saying isn't sexual, but he is rewarding you Pavlovian style through sexual Oedipus type ways. It's really
and it's definitely one of the faults of this.
It's B.
It's B?
Yeah. It's very unnecessary.
Just skip through this.
Is it? No, I didn't think it. Maybe it's not that one.
Nope. Nah, man, dude.
I can't remember, dude. I did two.
You're gonna die alone because of this. You're never gonna get laid.
I feel like the answers were actually different this time because the one that I got right last time was you talk about how you read. So I thought that was the same thing.
Okay, that's a good question. Any respectable woman would ask a guy that.
Like what you do for a living.
Yeah, but that's a good way to do it. How are you free in the morning? Because, you know.
So she says that he says like I make YouTube videos and but I do it for European people, whatever. She says,
cool.
And then he asks what she does, and
obviously you don't want to be like, hey man, you teach sex ed because I'll teach you a lesson or two.
So now he wants when you get this is the right answer, find out whether she loves her job. So now you're kind of challenging her and saying, "Oh, you're just doing it for money, or do you have a passion?"
Are you doing it for the love of it?
You can emphasize on this passion and get people to talk about themselves because people love to talk about themselves. That's kind of the whole shtick.
Oh,
there you go. See, we got the tits. We did it.
We did it.
We did it. TechRaptorettes and TechRaptors.
What's up, Raptors? Check this shit out.
We got the tits.
Feast your eyes on this.
Yeah, they also want to let you know that you can grow a beard in a millisecond and have giant tits.
And here's the other thing too. Like, he looks, and not just so side note, he looks so much better with this facial hair or with lower. Yeah, and he has some like a nice shave, and then for some reason in the fucking video he's like, let me wear my glasses and have this giant
porno beard,
fucking cult beard. Yeah, porno beard.
So now they're talking about her class. Her class she teaches has to do with American culture. And
I would think that B is
You want to challenge her to explain why this is important, which you could do this in your regular life with somebody.
That's called engaging and having an interesting conversation where you're leaving fulfilled, not just going like, oh, you like school? That's fucking cool. You know, when I worked in retail, like, we're always told never ask closed-ended questions. You know, it's like, how are you doing today? You can't just be like, good. Like, something that doesn't have yes or no.
Yeah.
You know, if I say, hey, you having a good day? Yes. Okay.
I really agree with that statement, and I think that if this game was not called Super Seducer and they had different instances of dating from a male and a female perspective, or like I've been reiterating over and over, the job interview, just different situations in the game, and then he could say like, I'm a dating coach primarily, but this is also to help you throughout your life in many other facets, and not sit on a bed with big-titted ladies.
Yeah, if it was him, it should be him in like a office setting, essentially professional setting, not with like the fucking Rico Suave shirt. Yeah. And it's like, if it was like, hey, we're going to talk to the girl in the coffee shop, we're going to make friends on this basketball court, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah. This would be really cool.
And I think you would have a broader demographic
and not to sound mean or anything, but I think this would help a lot of people that are very into that scene, the video game scene.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if it's like, here's how to help you, essentially if it's like how to win friends, influence people, the game. That being said, I really fucking wish there was some music or something when you're selecting options, because it just dies out.
It looks like it's frozen beside
I feel like
the overlay glowing.
You brought this up yesterday. I feel like I'm playing a web game, or I'm at school taking a test. Yeah. Because this is how it would be. Like,
or you're at work taking like the sexual harassment interactive.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly it. Yeah. The bar exam is more exciting than this. So let's challenge her.
Wait, American culture.
Yeah.
So he basically
speaking of culture,
he basically says Americans don't have culture, and then she proves that they do.
Yeah.
And
I keep thinking that sign back there says "Es muy borracho," which is like,
oh, I love burrata if it's cheese. Tell her, wait, what is? Be honest. No, okay. So she's talking. We skipped it, but in this scene, if you can see behind him on the left, there's a hand. Well, that's another woman in a skimpy dress at 9 a.m. at the coffee shop. And his character gets kind of distracted, and she's talking about something trivial that isn't really that important.
Yeah.
And so you want to show your importance, or your level of interest, and not that you were distracted.
Not just be like, oh man, sorry.
And this was interesting when I actually watched it, because it wasn't for him, it was for us.
Yeah.
The viewer. Like, really? He looks at, listen to what he says after. He's like, good job, you didn't get distracted by the girl.
Oh, well, that's bad. So I guess you don't have enough like papers for the students.
Okay.
Well done, you weren't distracted by the sexy chick that walked by, and that's something that, you know, you can use out there. Well done for paying attention.
I was actually kind of surprised by that. It was a little more personal, and I
think it should all be personal like that. Like, because at the end of the day, it is a game.
Dogs.
You know, game it up a bit. And like, hey, some silly shit's gonna happen in the background. Did that distract you?
Yeah.
Because in real life, when you're talking to girls or talking to friends or like anyone, there's always silly shit happening in the background.
Yeah.
I've been on so many first dates where I've watched homeless people take a shit across the street. And boy, is that distracting when this girl's like, let me tell you about some... I had this girl telling me about the saddest shit about her brother, and she was getting really emotional, and behind her, to the right, this homeless dude stopped in the middle of Santa Monica Boulevard, took out his dick and started peeing on a car. And I'm just like, oh my god. That is so fascinating.
That sucks, dude.
So I'm laughing as she's like, yeah, you know, and then my brother, like, he's locked up forever. I'm like,
And there's a homeless man just doing his thing. That's, a lot of distractions happen in life.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you date somebody for a couple of years, like my girlfriend and I, she'll do stuff where I'm talking to her and I'm like, yeah, my mom just had to foreclose on her house, and she's like texting, you know? But it's impossible to have anybody live up to this standard of paying attention. But at the beginning of meeting somebody, when you're developing a friendship, you want to make a good first impression, whether your end goal is sexual or not. And I wanted to also make a comment about how you and I think we look at this game a little bit differently because we were in the music industry where we would have to force ourselves to talk to people.
Yeah, I think that's that is true. Like I'm used to, at the end of every show, like, fuck, I gotta go find 10 people and literally sell the idea of me to these strangers. Without selling.
Yes.
And it's that's why, like, I'll read this PUA stuff or see this, like, pickup artist stuff or whatever, and I just think, like, oh, that's how it was in, like, sales or, like, in music. It was essentially just that, but my end goal was that they would buy a EP, not blow me.
But you're still trying to get something out of people by not just going. People want to make a personal connection. They like to talk about themselves. There's just basic stuff, and if you are genuinely an interested and interesting, positive person, you are likely to make friends and just talk. You just have to genuinely be interested. It's not that hard.
That's, I think, the biggest disappointment with this game is that it's only about trying to fuck women.
Exactly.
Because if it was literally
multifaceted,
all of these social situations you're probably going to find yourself in at this, you know, between the age demographic of like 18 and 25 or whatever.
Sure.
And we have this whole game set up that's essentially going to tell you, like, here's what you don't do in this. Here, try this, try that. This would be awesome, and I would really recommend it to so many people. Yeah. But because it's just about, like,
getting laid.
Fuck it, you know, oh shit, maybe we should.
It's A.
That's another problem with this game. We can go on these long tangents. Nothing has happened. There's no consequence to me not.
I know.
Like, I kind of like when it's like, hey, you have 30 seconds to pick something, because it just keeps me engaged. Or some music. Or it's just, this is so dead. Like,
it would also make you want to replay it so you could get all that your advice book.
Okay, because
oh man, they put on their Sunday best again. Look at that zipper, by the way.
I know, it's hilariously big.
Kingdom Hearts zipper.
Should I say that? No. Oh.
So now you're doing the awkward silence. Say you hate awkward silences.
Oh man.
We'll finish this one and
the light. Yep. There you go. She shifted.
Can you tell me some things you like to do for fun?
Okay, so
I don't
compliment. She likes to learn Russian, so
you know, I feel like I wouldn't trust a woman dressed like that in a coffee shop.
When a girl has,
she looks like a tough woman.
Do you mind if I ask where you're?
So you can either be a perv and say you like my British accent, don't you? My British accent's terrible. Talk about foreigners, whatever.
So you like the English, right?
Yada yada yada.
This is the right choice, and it's always.
So this is where I screwed up because I thought I had been talking to her for a while now.
Yeah.
And so I went and tried to ask for her number, and she rejected me.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's the thing, like, as creepy as this game is, or whatever, creepy in air quotes.
When you want to transition to seeing someone again, it's very good to.
That's actually good advice, because he says that in the first one. Like, you can ask for the number a few times, and every time he's like, "Hey, don't. Why are you asking for such personal info like that soon?" And that would work for anybody. You make friends with someone, or like, mystery viewer out there. If someone talks to you and in 2 minutes, like, "Hey man, can I have your phone number?" You'd be like,
"That's weird,
no, dude.
Yeah, it's really weird."
No, wait, you want where I live too? Like,
it's just a strange thing to ask. Like, people have to like earn your trust, and they learn that by the way you talk, the words you say, and the order you put them.
Denied, cat.
You can shut it.
No, I mean, and just to kind of add on to some advice for that, if you're ever going to try to get someone's number, just be like, "Hey, do you have Instagram?" Or it's so much easier, because it's public, and if they're a really private person, they'll tell you like, "Oh, you know, I have it private because X, Y, and Z," and it's like, okay, I've learned something about you. Instead of like, "Hey man, let me get your fucking number."
Well, there's also a problem with the Instagram thing. I do think it's a very safe way to you're like dipping your toe in the water a little bit by getting the Instagram or the Facebook account, but at the same time, it's just like another layer
It
that
is.
you have to go through. And I think if you actually spend the time to sit down and talk to people and just straight up say, hey, like, I think you're an interesting person. I'd like to get to know you more. Do you mind if I have your number? And we can go on a hike or hey, whatever.
You're so fucking LA, we can go on a hike.
Well, that's what they talk about in this particular clip. But,
which one, real quick?
See. That's what I was talking about, hiking.
So here's the shocking thing about this game, though. Going off of people's reactions and kind of I'm gonna say it, the kind of unfair treatment of the game, and I'm not defending like what we just saw on the screen 5 seconds ago. I thought every mission, they're definitely missions. Every objective would end with like you taking her back for like some hot fuck action or something. But
yeah, there's no nudity.
Yeah, I can see why it didn't get accepted on the PlayStation Store, because it's not a very good game.
It's not.
And
it's not.
And like, Sony has to be, and besides that Black Tiger game, Sony has to be like pretty strict on what goes on their store, because once they open the floodgates, it turns into Steam Greenlight, which has like, what was it, like 30,000 games or some horrendous number came out last year. So saying no to this, like, you know, it is what it is.
The only game that
get on the Mac though, so that's cool.
That's true, because you can get it on.
It's one of the few games you can get on the Mac.
The only game that's worse than this that I've ever played is Life is Strange.
You fucking asshole.
Just kidding.
Take that back.
So wait. Let me. This is what I was saying earlier. Actually, I don't know if it recorded it or not because I'm lost as far as how that's going.
It was our third time recording this.
So you have a great conversation with somebody. You get their number, and then it says say goodbye, be warm, and say how nice it was to meet her. To me, that's like saying, all right, man, it was really nice meeting you. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. That's like warm, but he makes it all wimpy. And it sounds like you're being this needy little bitch.
And I think with this, I've noticed a lot of the answers are very in the extremes. Because any other person would be like, hey, well, it's nice meeting you. I'm going to go back to doing what I came in here for. And
that seems warm to me. Yeah. It seems like you're being genuine.
And then right now I'm already figuring out, just from my years of dating, what joke would I make as I walk out? And I go, all right, well, it was nice seeing you. And then I would stand up and walk 5 feet to the counter and order.
Yeah.
And I would turn back and be like, this is actually what I came in here for. It's really awkward now.
Yeah. You just,
it's like that.
Acknowledge that shit. Yeah. It's okay.
Or it's like that I've like gone out with girls, we're walking back, and I say, hey, it was nice meeting you. And that's where, you know, hug them and say bye or whatever. And then we both have to walk the same way because we parked.
I know. And it's like that shit. I asked that.
And if that happens, no, all you do is that there's only one joke you can do. You go, you walk 10 feet away from me. We don't know each other anymore. And then you just like, but yeah, that shit's always frustrating.
I've actually started asking people that now, which is something I've learned. So how is that any different than having like preconceived sentences you're going to say to people when you first meet them? That's the same idea. That's I ask people, so there's no awkward shit. I think I'm gonna pick the answer real quick. It's not going for the kiss because you just met her. These are pretty much the same, lingering and wimpy weirdness.
Long handshake's weird. It's probably that.
I think it's B, sadly.
Well, because this is also the pickup artist thing we're forgetting about.
See ya. Okay, bye.
So yeah.
This one is counterintuitive, but it's exactly the right answer. The reason is that if you're too
so this right here is the quote-unquote pickup artist stuff where we get into where it gets a little creepy, where it's very like objective and like demeaning women when you're meeting them. You know, like we went through this whole thing and we were talking like normal guys would, like, hey, we're gonna try to be nice to her and have this benefit, like really good conversation.
But then the PA, I see.
And then the PUA stuff comes in where it's like you're doing all this. Just his face. We're doing all this for an objective, and now like.
This is not great.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. I have to exit this game because I can't listen to this guy talk anymore. And we'll do our final wrap up.
We'll do our final wrap up.
It's so distracting. All right, here we go.
So. All right, so
will you say what you were saying?
Yeah. So and I think the problem with this game is that there's a lot of problems. How we just played it, we're playing it like very normal guys that are like, hey, we're playing it like guys that are in committed relationships, so we already know like this is what girls want to hear. Like we're not being mean or creepy. But then you get to the end of every level in this, and he's just like, all right, this is the tactic you use, and it always gets all the babes coming back to you. And it's like, then you get in that weird pickup artist stuff where it's like, oh, be sure to be peacocking when you go to the bar, and like...
Be sure to neg her.
Yeah, neg her, peacocking, you know, be like, mystery.
Well, I think it's good that we're getting like high 70s and 80s because it shows that we know how to talk to people, but we're not master manipulators.
Yeah, we're not... Because that's the thing, like, this thing right here, Super Seducer, it's weird because there's a lot of pretty good advice on how to like talk people and approach people. Then there's a lot of good, I don't want to say good, there's a lot of advice on how to see women as a target and you know, for lack of a better word, go in for the kill right away. Like with this, it's not, oh, I see that girl, I want to hang out with her or like fuck her or like whatever. It's very like, you're going out to the coffee shop, like time to go hunting. Yeah, and that's where it gets creepy. But that's that whole pickup artist thing. And like, I can see for, especially in the game industry, that's just not being, especially right now.
Yeah, the culture.
This came out in 2007.
It would be a totally different thing.
It would be like, I think when video games were a bit more like quote unquote bro, this would probably be a bit more accepted in like 07.
It's just also weird because we're so used to, because the way things have been going, like you said, culturally for the last year and a half or two, even longer, have really separated the dynamic that men pick up women and whatnot. But, I mean, men are supposed to pick up women. Like, that's how else are we supposed to meet them and talk to them and I mean, we got to do something.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like Tinder and stuff, but like as someone that used Tinder for years and online dating for years, here's just so totally non-game related, just dating advice. Online dating kind of fucks up dating for you because
real long-term dating.
Yeah, because and I had this problem for years. I would like meet a girl, like her. It's great. I would date her for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'd be like, all right, well, it's time for someone new. Because it was that easy. And then the next day, I would have another girl. I mean, maybe that's just me bragging a bit, but like...
No, it's not.
I've had the day where, no joke, I've gone on 4 dates.
Yeah, because you just swipe.
Yeah, and I went out in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and then met up with another girl at like 3 a.m. And like, it sounds creepy and stuff, but like online dating kind of makes it to where that
makes people a commodity.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, other girls would just be like that too. Be like, oh yeah,
everybody does that. It's not just men. And that's why I think this game has. I think this game is a lot more positive than negative. Yeah, the gameplay sucks. It's stupid. It's like it's a little doing an online survey.
Porno. It looks like.
But if you take away that shit and you actually look at the meaning behind the game, it teaches you to look at people like people and earn their respect through casual and nice intellectual conversations.
I feel like this game was originally something else and they repackaged it as a game only because this intro and the actual game intro when you first boot it up is so different and the production value is so much higher than anything else. I feel like this was like a DVD.
Yeah.
Or like a website that like, because you can pay to have him life coach you or whatever. I feel like this was part of that.
It's just part of the package.
And that could be why he looks different and everything. And then it's like, oh, let me make this
let's make it a game and sell it so anybody can buy it.
Yeah, but then they just kind of there's so much with this that I find, I hate the word problematic, but there's also a lot that I don't see what the fuss is about. I honestly, here's my wrap up.
60-40. 60 positive.
My wrap up, I'm about 60-40 positive. Honestly, if this game isn't for you, if you're like repulsed by it, if you think it's horrible, if you think it's terrible, then just ignore it.
Yeah.
It's not.
You don't have to.
Because at the end of the day, it isn't.
Are gonna top the charts.
Yeah, and it's not like it's like this creepy porno game or anything either. Like honestly, and that's the funny thing is that you have all these guys, these like gamer guys that will be like on Twitter like, yeah, fuck Super Seducer, it's so creepy. And then it's like, oh hey man, check out this fucking game I bought off Notaku where I try to fuck some anime maid, and it's like, dude, that's way worse.
Yeah.
Because that literally
they actually show.
Yeah, well, and then that stuff, you literally are like, at least with this one, when you go in and objectify a girl right away, he kind of tells you like, hey asshole, that'll get you in trouble, don't do that. Which is a little scummy. But the other like anime dating games are like, you know, we're like, well, I guess I'll lock her up in the basement.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like he's an easy target for a very vocal crowd, and I think because this guy kind of doesn't give a fuck, it makes it frustrating for a lot of people. But yeah, I don't think it's as bad as. I mean, I honestly, if I had to give it a rating right now, I'd give it like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah,
only because
the gameplay makes it so much worse.
There has to be music in the actual video game itself. Like, there's no music when I'm selecting things. There's no timer. It gets really boring.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like blown away by it or anything.
No, I'm with you. I agree with pretty much all your points. It's not fun, but there is a lot of good lessons to be learned from it.
Yeah,
if they made the demographic a little wider and didn't make it just about getting the girl, I think the people wouldn't really be having such a fuss, and I think I'd like the game more too, because I'd probably actually apply it to my life instead of just like, what am I going to use this for? Like, I've been dating Jenna for 3 years.
Yeah, it's like here's a better way to wrap this whole thing up. Sell this game to me in 2 sentences. I'm walking into your video game store, and you have this, and I go, hey man, what's Super Seducer?
I would tell you it's a game that attempts to enhance your psychological tactics of meeting women. If you are struggling in this aspect, or if you are struggling in that respect, then the game is for you. But just so you know, the gameplay is super lackluster, and it can get very dull quickly.
Yeah, I would say probably the same thing, but double it.
Double time.
But double it. No, I would say it's a game for, like, if you're really, basically if you're looking to a video game to help you get over your social issues, then you need to go get help in person from someone. But that being said, like, I don't know, I would run through this one day and probably pick up 2 things. Not pick up as in, like, that's just a bad word. It's such a bad way to say that. Not pick up as in, like,
pick up.
I'm gonna go pick up on some girls. But I would look at that and be like, oh yeah, you know, maybe that isn't the best. Like, if you look at this more open-minded and kind of objective in the way of, like, I'm gonna try to find the positive in this, then you'll probably learn something, and it's not as bad. If you go into it like, this is sexist, this is terrible, fuck this guy, he hates women, then it's like,
all you're gonna do is look for shit like that.
Yeah, then you're, it's that, like, I guess to close this out, I hate LA with a passion.
Yeah.
And I hated it out here. And then I thought, when I'm in traffic, like, why don't I find one good thing every time I'm driving around? I'll find one thing I like, and I'll say, that's cool. And now I love the city, because I would drive and be like, oh, that's cool, the Getty is right there. Okay. Or then I'd be sitting somewhere like, oh, that's cool art. And then all of a sudden I realize as I'm driving around, I'm like, oh, I like everything in the city now.
Yeah.
And I think it's that thing, like, if you go into it, try to go into it positive. Don't be negative. You know?
No, I mean, having a negative outlook really poisons your life experience.
Listen to some positive hardcore before you play this.
Just because the game isn't politically correct doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of weird things in it, but there's a lot of good too. And
there's a lot. Yeah,
it is with every game.
Yeah, if I was in charge, there's a few executive decisions I would make, but yeah, I mean, it's not so bad. So yeah, that's that's Super Seducer.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was coming on the PlayStation so I could get a platinum trophy in that. And
yeah, and if you can also not pay for it, try to do that, because it's not worth money.
Or I mean, it'll pop up on a Steam sale or some shit. I don't know. Maybe it's a party game. Who knows? Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and see you for the next one. I want everyone to see your desktop. Oh.
It's just a black screen. Alright, cool. Good. At least we actually recorded.